Welcome to the Chillness Room. This is episode 15. I'm going to read to you from Little Zen Stories, Quiet Teachings for Ordinary Days by me, Kyra Schaefer. These are ancient stories, things that have been in kind of the history of Zen practice for a long time. So these are just retellings, but I really love them and I wanted to share them with you. This one is called The Gate. A traveler reached a monastery at the end of a long road. His feet were sore, his pack worn thin. He'd heard the teacher there spoke plainly and didn't waste words. At the entrance stood a simple wooden gate. It wasn't locked. Still, the traveler hesitated. A monk sweeping nearby paused and watched him. "I've come to study," the traveler said. "Then enter," the monk replied. "But am I ready?" the traveler asked. "I don't know enough yet." The monk leaned on his broom. "What do you think is on the other side of the gate?" he asked. "Understanding," the traveler said. "Peace," he added after a moment. The monk nodded and returned to sweeping. The traveler stood there for a long time. He adjusted his pack, straightened his clothes, rehearsed questions he might ask. The gate didn't open, didn't even move. Finally, tired of standing, he stepped forward. The gate swung open easily. We often wait for readiness before beginning. We want certainty before commitment, understanding before entry. We believe there's a threshold that must be crossed internally before we're allowed to step forward. The gate in this story doesn't test the traveler. It doesn't demand proof. It waits. Readiness is rarely something we achieve in advance. It arrives through movement, not preparation. The traveler doesn't become ready by standing still. He becomes ready by entering. Many gates in life remain open and unused because we keep circling them, asking questions instead of stepping through. The gate opens naturally, not because of readiness. I really love this story, just for so many reasons, but I'll share one in particular. And this is kind of me in a nutshell, I guess, and maybe it's you too. I have never seen something in my life that I didn't feel like I could probably figure out how to do. This is kind of who I am. But what does that mean? So, there in publishing, so I publish books for a living. It's important to me. It matters to me. It matters to the people that I publish. I enjoy doing it to the point of getting to see people achieve their dreams and getting them to see that their words matter and that they're out there for the world. If the world would like to embrace it, or whatever it is that they want to accomplish with their book, it could be speaking engagements, or getting onto stages, or maybe it's having an asset that they keep forever. And so with As You Wish Publishing, our publishing company, we're publishing services, so we make it easy. But before I was that, I liked writing books. I like collaborating. I like speaking. I like talking to people about speaking. I was a clinical hypnotherapist. I was an NLP master practitioner. Before that, I was a Reiki practitioner, energy worker. I have been in the realm of helping people to achieve their dreams for a long time in a variety of ways. And before that, I struggled with abuse, addiction, personal challenges, anxiety, depression, undiagnosed ADHD, RSD, a variety of other issues that I had to come through and figure out, because my body doesn't medication doesn't work for my body. It just doesn't work. And that's okay. And I had to find other ways. And when I found other ways, that's how we move forward, right? We move forward into helping other people have other opportunities. But I don't know what was instilled in me from a very young age. I just decided one day that I was going to figure things out. And if I wanted something, nothing was going to stop me from having it. Now, I didn't ever want anything big or fancy. I wasn't raised to ask to have the nicest purse or the best shoes or the biggest house or any of those kinds of things. That just wasn't something I desired. I more desired feeling connection and love and doing things that were gate kept, right? Mental health was gate kept from me. And once I figured out how to have that improved, I was going to dang sure share it with others. Book publishing was one of those things that was often gate kept. The big five publisher told you whether or not you were good enough to have a book out there. I just didn't believe that. So when a friend of mine passed away, and she loved writing, she loved speaking, she was just, she was really fun and delightful, and also kind of challenging at times, but she was a human being. Anyway, I was like, well, I think I'll put together a book, and I'll have her friends and myself write in it, and we'll all pitch in a little money and we'll produce this book and make it happen. And I had no idea how that was going to work, or even if it was going to work. I had no idea. So another friend kind of taught me, okay, well, you put it up on this site and you format it, and here's how you do a few things, and and she did a great job of teaching me, and she's wonderful, and I am so grateful for her. But pretty much was able to put it all together and do it on my own, and I went out there and I did it. And we published our first book in 2018. Took me a year to do that first book. And the next year we did 4 books, and then 6 books, and then 10. And now we are at 100 books that we've published, solo authors and collaboration books. And what I found is that didn't have to be gate kept anymore. It just didn't. And I didn't have to wait at the gate until I was ready. I didn't become 100-book publisher, right? By not taking the first step into publishing our first book. I would have never gotten here if I hadn't have walked through the first gate. And that first gate was the scariest. It really is. It is the scariest. But then you walk through the gate again and again and again and again and again, and it becomes easier and easier and easier and more effortless to do that work. But it was scary at first. And so I understand that. I understand this person in the story because I've sat outside the gate before. The only difference is for me is that I go, yeah, but I see through I see through it. I see through the hole in the gate. I see that there's other people in there, and they don't look any different than me. They don't act any different than me. They don't seem to have anything special about them at all over me. No, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I think that that's kind of when I think about people who want to do courageous things and why I applaud them so much when they do is because I see myself in that, and I see you in that. And you're like, well, you don't know me. Yeah, I do. You're just like anyone else who has ever thought to yourself, I wonder if that can happen for me. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if that's possible. I wonder if, having this podcast, or maybe writing a book, or maybe writing in a book, or maybe submitting poetry to an outlet, or a competition, or maybe standing on stage and, talking about things that I love and believe in. Maybe getting that extra certification of that thing that you've been thinking about. Maybe this is your permission. Maybe this is your permission right now to step through that gate. And you don't even have to push the door open that hard. You just walk one foot forward, you know, and then see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may. Trust your guidance. Trust that whatever brought you to that door is the same thing that's going to bring you through it, because you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know everything yet. You don't, I promise you. You don't have to have it all figured out yet. You just have that willingness to say, yeah, that might be fun. I might enjoy that. That could be very interesting. That could be possible. I like playing with this idea. I like connecting with the possibilities of bringing this into my life more and more. I'm curious about what this outcome could look like. Now, many of you, maybe similar to me, you may not have big dreams. I never had big dreams. Like I said, I never wanted the expensive shoes or jewelry or the thing that some people want. I've never wanted the status or the thing. I just wanted to feel, I guess, maybe like what I had to say mattered. And I think that from that standpoint, in what I do, when I look at someone's book that they send to me, I can see that many times they're in that same position. They want to have whatever they've written or they've expressed to matter. And they deserve to have a space for that. And the only thing that we do is just make it incredibly easy to make that happen. Easy, easy, easy. Because that's the thing that matters to us most. So now, I'm not saying there is not a thing wrong with wanting the status thing, or wanting the shoes and the purse and the thing and whatever else you want, and the cars and the houses and the things. If that is what's in your heart and it just really drives you to feel so balanced, whole, happy, and complete, I say yes, it is available to you. Walk through that gate that will bring those things to you, in whatever form that is. And I don't know exactly what that is, but I do know that it is possible. It's like all things are possible. But I will say, what becomes impossible is if you stand outside the gate and keep contemplating on what you don't have, what's not working, what's impossible, how you don't have enough or know enough or can create enough. All of that stuff is just you holding yourself back. And in the chillness room, the more chill we get about how those things are going to happen, because that's not really up to us, and the more chill we get into the direction of already feeling good about those things coming, oh my goodness, you have got some magical stuff happening and coming your way, because it has to. So get into that chillness place, get into that peaceful space, get into that honest, loving moment of connection with who you truly are. And you might find that gate opens to you naturally and easily. Till we meet again, friends, I hope you have a beautiful time in your chillness room and know that you are in my heart as all of the gates open to you now. Take care.